Welcome to this video which takes a look at LANGuardian version 12. My name is Darren Delaney, I'm Head of Technical Services here at NetFort. LANGuardian version 12 introduces a totally new graphics engine. So let's pick a report here. You can actually see some of the graphics on the dashboards, which we'll come back to. We can run a report, let's say last couple of hours. Format's much the same, but the graphics here are totally new. In this case we've got a bar graph showing us usage over the last couple of hours. So it's dominated here by TCP/4.5 Microsoft traffic. So if we want to get a better picture of what's happening with other protocols, we simply click the blue there, which switches off the 4.5 traffic in the graph so we can see what other protocols look like. Now this is very useful if you're doing capacity planning or taking a look at WAN links, where you might say, well, if I took off Microsoft traffic from that link and localized file servers, for example, what does the traffic rates look like? So quickly with the new graphics here, you can switch things on and off and take a look at what usage is like without certain protocols running on a network. So back here to the dashboard, this will show you down here. We've also introduced new trend graphs. So a couple of new features in these. Firstly, just lots of new colors, and they're also much bigger, fill up the space available. Secondly, as you move across the trend, you get some information. So here we can see at 9:06 there was 3.44 megabits a second of traffic. So it's very useful. Here we have showing all web traffic. So at 9:06 there was 3.838 megabits a second of traffic. There was another increase here at 9:46. Scroll across, we had another increase at 11:46. So spot trends there. And then the great thing is you can actually click and drill down and find out what was happening at that point in time that caused that issue. It's Google video. Somebody here was watching videos. So trend graphs are updated. You still have the option to drill down, but as you hover over them with your mouse, you get information about traffic rates, about time. So you can quickly identify and figure out what is causing bandwidth issues on the network. LANGuardian version 12 introduced a totally new feature called Content-Based Application Recognition, or CBAR. But let me give you a bit of background as to why we introduced this feature. So I'm looking at one of our more traditional type of traffic reports here, which group ports together to give you total amount of traffic. So top of the list, Microsoft DS, which is file and print traffic, almost 3/4, port 80 traffic, HTTPS. But as I scroll down here, there's lots of numbers here which aren't labeled, and it goes on and on and on and on. There are lots and lots of ports being used on the network. There's pages and pages of these numbers. So as on my network over the last couple of hours, there's 949 ports in use, which seems a lot. So looking at this here, it's not management friendly in that if you show that to people, they'd ask questions, well, what is this? Do we know what these ports are being used by? So let's now look at the network using our new CBAR report. So we click on Reports and Top Applications. This is also available on our dashboards. Let's take a look at the network over the exact same time period. So what do we know? Well, we've now summarized that it's only 19 applications have been used. So all of those ports is actually only 19 applications. We also have what we call management friendly names. So server message block is file shares, HTTP, we have SMTP, DNS, SNMP, together with their actual description. So as we saw previously, file share traffic was 71%, but we now break it up into HTTP traffic. And what's interesting, we have BitTorrent, and that does use a lot of different ports. And we have different applications here. And we can drill down. So content-based application recognition is a really useful tool for monitoring a LAN, because you see what a user's type of applications, monitoring the WAN, so you see over your links what type of applications are consuming the most bandwidth, and especially on internet pipes, where because of port hopping and people or apps using port 80, you really don't know what's happening, but you do with our CBAR reporting. You do, because it breaks it down by applications rather than just relying on ports. So the next update to LANGuardian is the way we've now brought together event data and traffic or bandwidth data. So let me give you an example of this. So if I take a look at top applications again, And let's take a look at the last hour. In the past, you may have to run a traffic report to get volumes, and then you might run a file share report to see what files were being accessed. But not anymore, it's all now linked. So here for example, we've got file share activity. In the last hour, 181.84 megabytes. Click on that, drill down, and you've got a couple of neat little features here. Firstly, you can see the file name, so this is the event that triggered the action. And secondly, you can actually see here the file size. So you can actually, on the one page here, we can now see both the type of file or the name of the file and the amount of data associated with that. So this is really useful if you're troubleshooting something like a WAN problem, or maybe something like a peak in traffic on the network, because you could click on the peak and drill down and see if it's file through traffic, what files and what size files are causing you the problem. If I go back here and just show you something else, so in this case I clicked on the file share traffic and it drilled down and it showed me file server stuff. If I click, for example, on the HTTP traffic here, I drill down and I get to see the web stuff. So website domains, so Google Video, Fluke Network, different sites there are being accessed. So it is it's protocol aware drill down, we call it. If you click on something, LANGuardian sees the type of traffic it is and then gives you the appropriate report. So you don't need to go looking for file share reports or web reports. It's protocol aware, so when you click on something, it presents the right report to you. We've also introduced a new way of reporting on web activity. Now the report that we've added is under here, it's under web, top website domains. We've also included it on the default management summary dashboard and on the internet activity dashboard. So what it tells us is, instead of the old way, which was top sites based on the number of hits, it's now top sites based on the amount of bandwidth consumed. So in this case here, we can see Google Video or likes of Windows Update. So let's drill down and see what's happening. So first up, we can see it's number 2 in the sites that consume bandwidth. Click on it. It then breaks it down into, so one click we break it down into the client or the user. You can see here these clients accessing Windows Update. Second click, click on the total here, and then it'll show what updates are coming from Windows Update and the size of those updates as well. So 2 clicks we could go from top level domain that the users are accessing. In 2 clicks we could drill down and get the detail here and actually see what updates are causing you the most amount of problems when it comes to Windows Update. And I have to click on Windows Update, but you can do this for, if it's YouTube, you can see what videos, etc. So it's a really quick and easy way to understand the way the internet is being used on your network. A common question to our support team over the last few months was things like, how do I find the bandwidth usage of services like Dropbox, or how can I find out who's using Google Drive on my network? And our answer has been to find the IP ranges that those services use and then run a traffic report to see what clients are accessing those IP addresses. And while that does work, it's a bit of a nightmare to manage those IP blocks and try and keep up to date. Well, not anymore with LANGuardian, because what you can do is you can pick any maybe traffic type report. So let's go for top server reports here. You're looking for any report which has got an IP subnet filter. So what you can then do is, instead of typing in IP ranges, you could type in dropbox.com, for example. Let's take a look at 4 hours and see, do we pick up any activity? Sure enough, we do. We see it's over HTTPS. 114 megabytes, small amount over port 80 as well, but mostly HTTPS, which makes sense. Dropbox would use encryption. You can see all the client IPs in use here. So 54, 107.20, 108, 160, 107. So it's really hard to keep track of things. There's so many IP blocks, but not with LANGuardian. You just type in the domain or the service like dropbox.com. And lastly, to find out who is using Dropbox, click on traffic total here. And it's a single client on the network, and it could get the username as well. So to summarize there, what you need to do is, and it doesn't matter if it's encrypted traffic, if it's non-encrypted traffic, in the IP subnet, type in the domain name, run your report, and LANGuardian will work out what IP address it has associated with that particular service. and then you can drill down to reveal the client. You could also save that report as well. Finally, I want to talk about our new dashboards. So there's a lot more flexibility in LANGuardian version 12 when it comes to customizing dashboards. So the first thing is, if you go into a dashboard and click edit, you'll notice there's a new option in here, which is the ability to change column widths. So for example, if columns are too wide and cause the scroll bars, change the column widths, press save, and the dashboard will then update to reflect those changes. So each column here for me is 800 pixels wide. Because I have the widescreen, that fits my screen perfectly. So if you want to put it up on a knock and you've got a widescreen, or maybe you don't, you can change the column widths to suit your requirements. I could put it here into knock mode and take a look what's happening. So the next thing I could do here is you can add or remove graphics or tables. So top applications is a really good report, so I want this on my dashboard, but I may not want to have the table here. It's using up some space. So you click on edit, say show table, untick that. You can change the time period as well, press save, and over on the right here I'm going to do the same for the website domains. Switch off the table. There we go. So something like this now to put up on a screen. I've got top applications, top website domains, top users, and usernames here as well, and a couple of trends. I need to maybe do some more just minor adjustments, but I can now have a dashboard set up to suit my requirements or my screen width. Edit there again. Let's go in and make some other changes. Let's switch tables back on. So as you can see, it's very easy to customize things to suit your requirements. Let's go in here and edit this one and switch on the table again, and that puts it back. And also I've just got 2 columns here. You can set it up that you just add a new column here, set the width, and start to add stuff, or just drop things over here onto the dashboard to set it up. So a lot more flexibility when it comes to customizing dashboards to suit your requirements.